Alright, so welcome to your first project in Angular. In this project, we're going to be building a really simple business website. We'll have a couple pages. We're going to have an index page. We're going to have an about, services, and a contact page. Alright, and this will be for a fictional computer repair company. Now, this type of site isn't really what you would use Angular for, like at all. But I wanted to do something really simple where we could just focus on the syntax and things like directives and expressions and some things you might not know about Angular. We're going to focus on that rather than what the application does or the file structure or anything like that. We're actually going to host the app with Plunker, which is basically gives you a hosting environment inside your browser. We're not going to build any back-end services or anything yet. That's later on down the road. We're not going to use a database, but what we are going to do is we're going to create a service to grab some data from JSON files. So we're going to have a JSON file with the services that we'll bring into Angular and display, and also the locations, the store locations. We'll put that on the contact page. Alright, so we will be dealing with some data and GET requests, things like that. Alright, so before we actually go to Plunker and build the Angular app, I just want to make the HTML. Okay, so we're just going to use Bootstrap. We'll be using Bootstrap for probably most of our projects. Getbootstrap.com. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Alright, and I'm going to create a project folder. So I'm going to go in my projects, and these actually need to be gone. Alright, so this is going to be called, let's just call it Computer Solutions. Now, when we build our application in Plunker, Plunker doesn't have the ability to create different directories, so for this project we're basically going to keep everything in the root level, just for simplicity really, and that's why I'm using Plunker. Is we're not going to pay too much attention to folder structure yet, just the basic syntax and so forth. So I'm going to bring over bootstrap min.css, and we need the JavaScript file, bootstrap min.js. Okay, and we're going to create our own style sheet, which will be style.css. Okay, and let's create our index HTML file. Alright, and for now we're just going to have a couple static pages. Okay, so we'll have an about. Okay, so that's basically what we'll be doing. We're not going to do any kind of Angular or JavaScript programming yet. I just want to get some pages. Okay, and contact. Okay, now, why do I keep doing JS? So the contact page, we're not going to have a form. We're just going to have an email address and a list of locations, which will come from a JSON file. Alright, so we will be making some GET requests, things like that. We're not going to have a back end. We're going to basically just query the JSON files. Now for the index file, I'm actually going to just grab one of the Bootstrap templates. Alright, so if we go to examples, and then I want this right here, this justified nav template, and if we do a Control U, we can get the source code. So let's just copy all of that, and I'm going to open up index, and we can paste that in, and there's a few things we need to do. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this meta stuff and this favicon. We don't need that. Keep the viewport because this will be a mobile friendly template. And for the title, let's just change that to Computer Solutions. And we got to change this path. Alright, so we know that all the files are in our root, so we can just get rid of all this. All right, now this here is a special CSS file that this template uses, and I do want that, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this justified nav CSS, and I'm just going to copy all of that, and then I'm going to open up my style CSS and paste that in and save it. All right, so we can get rid of that. And let's see, so we need to change this to style. Alright, and we can get rid of everything from here down to here. Alright, let's change the project name. Alright, and then for the menu, we're going to change some things. I'm going to get rid of this class active for now. And I'm just going to point to the static pages for now. Okay, so index, and then we'll have an about page. Okay, services, we're going to keep that. And we can get rid of these two, and we're going to keep contact. Alright, now down here we have the Jumbotron. Let's change the heading. Change it to Computer Solutions. Alright, now for this, let's see, I'm going to get rid of this button. Whoops. Actually, no, we're going to keep that. Actually, no, we're going to get rid of it. And basically what I want to do here is I want to have two columns. One's going to have an image, and then the other is going to have this text. Alright, so we're going to have to create a row div. And if you know Twitter Bootstrap, then you should know exactly what I'm doing. And then we're going to end that row here. And then I want our column div, do the first column, which is going to have a class of callMD4. Okay, and I'll end that here. And then div class callMD8. Okay, and that's going to wrap around the heading and the paragraph. Okay, so push that in. Alright, now for the image, when using Plunker, we can't upload an image locally, so I'm just going to point to an image. So it's going to be image source techguystaging.com/files/computericon.png. Alright, so let's take a look at that so far. Whoops, we gotta open it with Chrome. Okay, so the image here is huge. Basically, we just need to fit that to its container div. So to do that, let's open up the style sheet. And I'm gonna just do this for all images. Okay, we just want to make the width is gonna be 100%. And that restricts it to its div. Alright, so that looks good. We're going to keep these text blocks. I just want to change the heading, and I also want to make them all the same length. So back in the index file, let's take this and we'll say hardware repairs, and I'm going to get rid of the button at the bottom. Okay, the next one is virus removal, and for this one we'll say system tune-up. Alright, and as far as the text, looks like these two have the same. Actually, we just got to get rid of this warning, so that's right here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. That's our home page. Alright, now for the about, basically going to be the same thing, so let's just copy all of this and go to about, and we're just going to change a few things. We're going to get rid of the Jumbotron. That's only for the home page. And then this stuff, I don't want this stuff. So I'm just going to, let's get rid of these. And then we can change this to a 12 column, and we'll change the heading to about, and I guess we could probably just leave that text. Yeah, so that's fine. I mean, we can get a little more text just to make it look a little better, but the about page is basically going to be totally static. So I'll just paste this text in. Alright, so paste that in, just add our paragraph tags. Get rid of that and that. Alright, so that can be the about page, that's fine. For services, when we do the Angular app, it's basically going to read all the service information from the JSON file. But for now, we're going to put it right in the HTML. Okay, so services.html, and what we can do is copy the about page. And let's change the heading. All right, and then let's see. I'm just going to get rid of these paragraphs, and we're going to have some more column divs. So we need to say div class. Actually, you know what? Let's let me take. Actually, we'll just put our sub columns inside of this column div. That should be fine. So we'll say div class equals row. And we want class equals call md 2. Okay, so basically each service is going to have an image. We're just going to use the same image for all of them, the one that's on the home page, just for simplicity. Okay, so that's the image, and then the text, that'll be call md8. I'm sorry, 10. All right, and then for the image, I'm just going to grab that same icon that I had in the Jumbotron. Oops, and I'm going to put that there. And then for our services, we'll do H3s, hardware, repair. All right, and I'm just going to paste in a simple paragraph. And then I'm just going to have a link to the contact page. And we're going to do a little bootstrap styling for this button. So I want to give it a class of btn and btn primary. All right, and then what we're going to do is take everything that's in the row, including the row div, and copy it, and then just paste it like that. All right, and then if we go to services, okay, we can fix this up a little bit. Let's see. Let's add a class to these rows. Okay, so we'll say row service. Then we can style each one. Oops. No, I don't want it there. I want it here. Alright, so save that, and now we can go in and we'll say service. Let's do a border bottom, and we'll say solid 1 pixel gray, and let's say padding for the top and bottom 10 pixels. Alright, let's make the padding a little more. Alright, so that's good. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the services page. Let's see, the contact page. Let's do that. Okay, like I said, we're not going to have a form. It's just going to be the addresses. So I'm going to copy the about page. And we'll get rid of these paragraphs. Okay, we'll change this to contact. And then I just want to have a paragraph with our email address. Let's say, please email support at computersolutions.fake. And that's good. And then we'll have our locations. Okay, so each location will just give a unordered list. Okay, so we'll say, let's say, I'm just going to put a couple cities here. We'll say Lynn location. Okay, so the street address, we'll say 333 Walnut Street. And I guess, yeah, we'll put the city, we'll put the address. Actually, we'll put the address on one line. And then we'll have the city and state. Whoops. And zip code. And then we'll have the phone number. Alright, so phone number 781. Alright, so there is a location. Let's just add a couple more here. I'm going to actually give the UL a class of location. Alright, so let's take a look at this now. Okay, very, very simple. Basically, when we do build the site, we'll have, these will be in a JSON file, and we're going to loop through it and spit these out. Now, I think that's really it. That's all we want to do as far as the static template. Yeah, so in the next video, we're going to go to the Plunker website and create a new application and basically bring everything we have into it and then just basically convert it to an Angular app. So I will see you in the next video.